Hi everyone, my name is Kiranpreet Kaur and today we will be presenting on the topic transforming resistance to change through regenerative mindset. So before starting the presentation, I would like to introduce my team member. So we are three members in a group. So Guruvinder, Toluvani and me and we will be explaining our topic step by step. So first of all, lesson outline. Here what we will be covering today. So first of all, understanding resistance, what it means and why it happens, Cotter's step model, a well-known framework for managing change, regenerative approaches, how to use a positive mindset to overcome challenges, real-world case studies, example of change in action, and finally the key takeaways from our presentation. So the next slide is understanding resistance to change. Resistance to change means when people don't easily accept new ideas or changes. It's actually a very normal and natural human reaction. Most people feel uncomfortable or unsure when something new happens. This resistance comes from emotion, thought, or behavior, not because someone is being negative or difficult. People might feel fear, doubt, or they may delay accepting the change. But this reaction can actually help leaders understand what people need, and maybe they need more information, more time, or more support. So resistance is not always a bad thing. It's something we can learn from to help people move forward in a positive way. So now I will hand over to Gurvinder. She will be explaining the rest slides.
Hello everyone. So let's start by looking at the common source of the resistance, why people resist the change. So first of all, the first step is fear of loss. Definitely this could be loss of status, comfort and even a competence. Many people worry that change will take their key skills less valuable and their roles are uncertain. The next is a communication gap. When people don't clearly explain why change is happening or what it means for employees, people start to feel anxious and left out. So next is the leadership consistency. When managers send mixed messages and don't model the change themselves, it breaks trust and credibility. So next is the cultural misalignments also play the role in the resistance. Sometimes the changes doesn't fit with the existing company values or way of doing things. So then final is the change fatigue. When organizations go through too many changes back to back, people can become exhausted and relentless, and this is not even a good initiatives. So next is the quarters 8-step models to manage these resistance effectively. The first step is to create the sense of urgency. This will help everyone understand why the change really matters now. The second is the build guiding collegians with a group of trusted and diverse people who can support and champion the change. The next is develop a clear vision that inspires people and connected emotionally. So next is communicate the vision that consistently and openly so everyone knows where the organization is heading. Next is empower the people to act by removing barriers and giving them the tool and confidence to take actions. So the next step is generate wins by celebrating the short term wins. Even small success can build the momentum. The next step is build on those wins by consolidating the gains to keep improving and avoid slipping back. The final step is anchor the new approaches into the culture so the changes last long term. So together these steps create a both a structure and emotional connection. So now let's see how quarter model help manage resistance at every stage. In the urgency step, leaders need to clearly communicate why change is essential now, not with the pressure, but through honest storytelling and data that connects emotionally with people. So, during the collagen building, involving skeptical or resistant employees actually helps because when they become part of the process, they shift from resisting to contribute. In the vision steps, aligning goals with shared values such as innovation, teamwork and sustainability helps everyone feels that the change benefits more than just the organization. In the communications is now not the one way. Leaders should listen, encourage questions, and provide transparency to build the trust. When empowering the people's removing obstacle is crucial. It could mean simplifying procedure, offering training, and ensuring employees have a resource to succeed. And by celebrating the short-term wins, leaders create a visible proof that change works and which build motivation and confidence across the organization. So, in short, Carter's framework doesn't fight resistance; it transforms it by including people, building trust, and showing a progress. So next is the how to unlock the power of a regenerative mindset. So finally, let's talk about the idea of regenerative mindset. This connects deeply with overcoming the resistance. So the regenerative mindset is about renewal and co-creation. Instead of just maintaining the status quo, it focuses on improving the system so both people and planet can thrive. So the mindset also values the empathy, adaptability, and collaboration. It reframes changes as an opportunity for growth rather than something to fear. So when people see the changes support well-being and shared purpose, so resistance naturally decreases because people want to be a part of something meaningful. And also the regenerative leadership honored the interconnectedness between human and ecological well-being. It builds a resilience, not just the compliance. So, in simple words, I can say that leadership focus on purpose, people, and positive impact. They don't just manage the resistance; they inspire the engagements. Now, I'm just moving my slides to my next partner, Tholwani.
So we're going to be discussing transforming resistance with regenerative practices. And the first point that we have here is we have to create a safety environment where people feel very secure sharing concerns and ideas without fear or of retribution. When people feel safe, they get to open up more and they feel more comfortable telling you how they really feel without fear of judgment, right? And then the next one is you encourage participatory decision making that empowers all voices across the organization. It's not just the leaders that should be allowed to talk. It's not just the leaders that should be allowed to make decisions. Everyone's voices should be heard and should be seen. And then we have to support resilience and continuous learning to help teams adapt fluidly and turn resistance into growth opportunities. We all know that everyone is scared of change, everyone is scared of resistance. But if we continue to support and encourage continuous learning and continuous training, right, it helps to open up our minds and it improves flexibility. And the next point is to integrate clear sustainability goals into the change vision to align efforts with broader organizational values. We have to install and instill these sustainable goals into our change visions, into the organization's vision and mission boards. Next slide, please. And we have a real life example here for the regenerative change, and that is the company Patagonia, where they held a campaign, Don't Buy This Jacket, just to challenge the consumption norms, where people just buy things even when they don't need it, right? And this campaign was all about encouraging customers to buy only when necessary, just so we can focus on sustainability and to also preserve the environment. And internally, employees and stakeholders initially they resisted this change. They resisted this approach because why? They felt that their profits margin will reduce. But with clear communication and alignment with the company values, they were able to overcome this resistance. Next slide. Yeah, so for this slide, we will be discussing the sustaining momentum for challenges and pathways. So what do we do, right, for us to be able to sustain momentum when the change has already been in progress? How do we sustain it, right? What are the challenges and what are the pathways out of it? First of all, we have to overcome recurring resistance by continuous and clear communication. Communication is the key in any organization. Once there's clear and flexible communication, most misunderstandings will drastically reduce. Authentic leadership with long-term commitment builds trust and credibility. When the leadership are committed to ensuring that this change is sustainable, right? It builds trust, and when it builds trust, everybody comes together, they work together. And then ongoing leadership attention is also very vital to sustain this meaningful change, right? So it's not just with the leadership being committed, they also have to pay attention, they also have to listen, they also have to make sure everyone feels included. And then deep cultural issues demand sustained time and focused efforts to change, right? We will always have clash of cultures and all of those things. And so the best thing for us to do is we should admit that these things will happen, and we should look for ways to accommodate everyone else so that we can have focused efforts to change. And what are our key takeaways? Our key takeaways from this presentation is that when organizations apply Kotter's model that has been explained by Guminda through regenerative lens, which is prioritizing people, which is very important, right? Prioritizing the purpose, the planetary well-being, resistance now will transform into ownership and not just something that people want to resist or people want to run away from. And now change becomes something that people want to see, people want to feel, people want to lead, right? So this is the end of our presentation. Thank you, everybody.